you've gotten wind that we are officially in a buyer's market. Yay! You might actually be asking yourself what this means and why this is beneficial. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what it means to be in a buyer's market, and I'm going to share 8 tips with you on buying a home in Austin. Make sure to watch this video all the way through, or just fast forward it to the end if you want, because I've got a bonus tip that I think is going to be really helpful, and this is something that I found that nobody talks about. I've got a ton of information for you, so sit back, watch, subscribe, and let's go. I'm Daphne Quay, your boss lady realtor here in Austin, Texas. And if you are thinking about buying a home here or moving to Austin or selling a home in Austin, contact me. My contact information is in the description below. You can also set up a one-on-one Zoom call directly through a link in the description. So with that, let's get started. Also, remember to watch this video all the way through because I have a bonus tip that I think is going to be really helpful. Tip number 1, if you've watched any of my other videos before on how to buy a home, I always talk about getting approved. Before you do anything else, you've got to get approved with the lender unless you're buying a home cash. But having a pre-approval letter gives you, number 1, the budget that you know you are going to be in, and it gives you a realistic range, and that's going to help you narrow down what neighborhood you want to be in. Tip number 2 is to shop online, and I don't mean like Amazon. I mean, get online, go on the home search websites and search for the different types of homes that you might like. I personally have a really good website. Here's my website, where you can go and search for homes in the Austin area as well. This is important, number 1, to see what kind of neighborhood you want to be in and what the different price ranges are going to be in these different areas, but also to see the style of home that you most like. Of course, this is a really effective way to see what different neighborhoods have to offer and what you can expect in different areas in different price points. So months before you're thinking about actually buying a home, make sure to be studying online, set up notifications, spend your extra time on there checking out what the options look like, and get familiar with these different home options. Tip number 3. Make a list of what's important to you. Whether you're writing it down on paper or making a mental list of your priorities, ask yourself, what do you want your commute to be? Do you even have a commute? Do you work from home? Do you have a dog? Do you need a spacious yard for a dog? Do you like cooking outdoors? Do you like grilling? Do you want a patio where you can put a grill? Is a school district important? What do you like to do? Maybe you want to be close to a gym. Maybe you want to be close to parks. Maybe you want to be close to shopping centers. I don't know, but everybody has different priorities. Another thing that I think is important to consider in this list is how long do you plan to stay in this home? And you might not know the answer to that immediately, but it's something to think about. Is it a home that you're going to be in for 3 to 5 years and then maybe sell it? Is it a home that you're going to be in for a couple of years and then you want to rent it out? Or is this going to be a more permanent thing? Do you have a family? Maybe you want your kids to grow up in this home, get through high school, maybe even through college. The answers to all these questions, of course, are going to be different for everybody, but they're really important items to consider when thinking about different neighborhoods and the different type of home that you might want. Tip number 4. If you're thinking that there's a neighborhood that you might like or an area that you're curious about, drive through it. Take a little bit of time to drive through either in the evening or the morning, on weekends, so you can get a feel for what neighborhoods are like. Most of the time when I go show homes to clients, it's in the evening after they're done with work or on weekends, which I think is a really good time to go see homes because most of the neighbors are going to be home. You can see how many cars are parked out front. You can see who lives in the neighborhood. You could see if it's super loud or you could see if it's super quiet. That way you can see if the neighborhood is super loud or if it's really quiet and nothing happens. Number 5, it's kind of piggybacking off of number 4, but number 5 is go to open houses. Just like driving through the neighborhood, we want to check out homes before you're ready to actually start your home search. You can find open house schedules online, so if you just go to any home search website, they typically have open houses listed on there. You don't need to go with anybody. You can just show up during the scheduled open house. Tip number 6. This is kind of a random one, and I think it's actually really helpful, but a lot of times I tell my clients to go to new construction neighborhoods so they can see what these developments look like. Even if you don't want a new construction home, even if you want something that's a little bit older, it's a really good idea to go through these model homes so you can see the type of finishes that you like, what kind of floor plans you like. And I think even if you're wanting to purchase an older home, going through a model home can be really helpful because if you're wanting to do some work to a home that might need work, you can see what's going on and what's popular with today's home designs. Before I get to tip number 7, make sure to watch this video all the way to the end because I've got an extra tip that I think is going to be really helpful that like nobody talks about. Tip number 7, get familiar with the fees in buying a home. I have a handful of other videos in where I talk about the process of buying a home in Austin, and I break down a lot of the fees and what's involved in purchasing a home. Generally speaking, in Texas, your fees are going to be earnest money, option money, inspection, appraisal, down payment, closing costs, and title policy. If you don't know what these things mean, leave a comment. I'll be more than happy to explain, or if you want to send me an email or shoot me an Instagram DM, or you can even call me, happy to go over it with you there as well. Tip number 8, trust your gut. Every now and then, I'll have a client that finds a home or a neighborhood that's gonna be really perfect for them, but then they'll overanalyze everything. They'll get excited about it at the very beginning, and then they just think, and then talk themselves out of it. And then they come back to me 6 months down the line, a year down the line, with some regret that they didn't just jump on that opportunity when it was available to them. So if you are in a neighborhood that feels really good to you, trust your gut on that. If you see a home that feels really good to you and the numbers work out, trust your gut. Even though pros and cons lists can be really helpful when you're looking for a home, it is also really important not to overanalyze, because then you can get what is called analysis paralysis and you won't do anything ever and you stay the same place forever and you'll die. We've made it to the end of the video. Yay, congratulations. Thank you so much for following instructions and watching till the very end, or thank you for cheating and just fast forwarding to this final tip. Tip number 9 is think about why you are buying a home. Maybe it's the fact that your family's growing and you need to plant roots and you want to provide a home for your family. Or maybe your job location changed and you don't want to commute for 45 minutes every morning anymore. The reason this is important is because if we know why we actually want to buy a home at this point in history, you're going to remember that throughout the transaction. I remember several years ago, I had a client that wanted to try to buy a home just to see if he could do it. He wasn't serious, and he ended up wasting a bunch of his time, a bunch of my time, and he actually ended up losing money in the process because he just wanted to see if he could get something. Which, okay, I guess you could do that, but that's sort of planning to fail. He didn't have a solid why, as opposed to a client that I'm working with right now who is relocating her entire family from another state because she got a new job here. She's really looking to plant roots and build a life here and be part of the community. So those are my 8 tips for buying a home in Austin with a bonus. I hope that gives you something to think about and it helps guide you a little bit better through the process if you're thinking that now may be a good time to start thinking about buying a home. If you have more questions or if there's anything you want me to clarify, please leave a comment. I really enjoy hearing from you guys. And as always, if you're thinking about buying a home in Austin or selling a home in Austin, contact me. My contact information is in the description below. We can even set up a one-on-one Zoom call through the link in the description. I'm Daphne Quay, your Boss Lady Realtor. Till next time.